Hello everyone, so today we have an update on last night's missile strike on Belbek Airbase, which I covered yesterday. The video playing now shows a missile hitting the airfield in the spot that another missile has already hit. Or, to translate that sentence to Russian twaddle, this video shows all missiles being successfully intercepted and debris falling onto the base. I'm going to play it again with the original sound. So first of all, I think this was Storm Shadow or SCALP rather than GLSDB. A few people speculated that it might be GLSDB because they were confirmed to be either arriving in Ukraine very soon or actually arrived yesterday. But given the range and the distance, I think this was Storm Shadow or SCALP. So now, what was hit? Well, here is the approximate area that was hit. The blast coming from the general area shown on screen now. So, two missiles hit here, remember, as in the video we saw smoke from a past strike already here before the other missile hit this area. Now, according to Telegram pages, 5 missiles hit Belbek in total, so at least 2 hit here. This is the area as shown zoomed out, so you can see that it's on the southwestern section of Belbek Airbase, away from the main airstrip. Now, some Telegram pages are reporting that radars and SAM equipment were located in this area, and that's what was targeted here. But for now, we can't say for sure. Now, as for what else was hit, so far we only have this Telegram post. Now, there is a lot of twaddle on here. For example, it says 24 missiles were fired, with 5 failed to be shot down. So, a nice bit of cope there. Russia always greatly exaggerates that only a handful of missiles got through out of 24 fired or 30 fired or some ridiculous number like that. I believe so far Russia's claimed to have shot down more SCALP and Storm Shadow missiles than Ukraine has actually sent. The likely scenario here is that Russia failed to shoot down any of the 5 missiles launched. Actually, to be fair, if the number of 5 hitting is accurate, then Storm Shadow or SCALP is typically fired in pairs, so it would be 2 from each aircraft. So if 5 hit, so you would expect if that's the case, then 6 to have hit this. So they may have bagged 1. But possibly, this is more likely, it was decoy MALD missiles and possibly S-200, which are sometimes launched in conjunction with Storm Shadow in order to attract SAM fire. But unsurprisingly, Russia has failed again to provide any proof or evidence whatsoever of any Storm Shadow missiles being intercepted. They seem to be really struggling to cope with Storm Shadow. Now, the interesting bit is in the middle. It says 2 Su-27s and 1 Su-30 were lost. 2 seriously damaged but possibly repairable. 1 completely destroyed after taking a direct hit. 12 personnel and 10 injured as well. So this will sound like a big strike, and this seems to me, so we have 1 missile strike hitting the jets, with 1 taking a direct hit. Possibly more than 1 missile targeting the jets, but we can't say for sure. It could be 1 missile which directly hit one of the jets, and then the debris and stuff damaged the other 2. 2 missiles we saw hitting the likely radar area at least, and then, possibly, given the casualty numbers we can see, a strike on a command post or similar. Now, also interesting, it says that the planes didn't have time to take off after receiving a signal about a missile threat. This suggests to me that maybe Ukraine has managed to jam Russia's radars, so the missiles were detected too late, or the radars were taken out in past strikes. It could also be, rather than radars being jammed, communications being jammed. So the radars detected the Su-24s firing the missiles and the missiles in flight and that sort of thing, but we just couldn't communicate that info back to the airbase in order to scramble the jets and get them out of there. Unfortunately, there's no satellite imagery available yet. The latest I've seen on Sentinel is from the 29th, and it's quite poor quality. That is before the attack, and also not really worth looking at to show what was there, as we can't see what was there. So, this has definitely sounded like a major strike. Russian sources confirming the losses of 3 aircraft. Hopefully we'll get photos from the scene or satellite imagery soon to further confirm this. In the meantime, let's have a look at Oryx and the total losses. So destroyed yesterday, 2 Su-27s and a Su-30. These are actually the first Su-27s destroyed in the war with Russia's. They don't play a major role, Russia typically using these for patrols around the Black Sea, rather than carrying out offensive operations or flying combat patrols over Ukraine itself and covering the front lines. As for the Su-30, that joins 11 of its friends in Oryx's Hall of Shame. Here, a photo of a Su-27, a twin-engine fighter aircraft designed as a competitor for the F-14 and the F-15. 391 of these are in service with Russia, or were in service until yesterday. These cost around $30 million each. As for the Su-30, it's this, another twin-engine fighter aircraft, but a more modern one, entering service in 2012. Russia had 110 in service at the start of the war, but they've had more delivered in 2023. I'm not sure how much these cost Russia to buy, but India is producing them at around $62 million an aircraft, so these cost a pretty penny. Now, Russia does have other air bases in Crimea, such as Gvardoskoye and Zhankoye Air Base, shown on this map here. Now, it would be interesting to see whether this is going to be a one-off strike targeting the air bases, or if Ukraine intends to keep hitting these air bases in Crimea and eventually force Russia to disperse its aircraft from Crimea to mainland Russia, where they will be safer. We've seen Russia already do that to the Black Sea Fleet. Most of its key ships now are based at Novorossiysk, because Russia has completely failed to protect them at Sevastopol. So, having to do the same to its aircraft would be very embarrassing. I don't expect that to happen just yet, but if Ukraine can hit other air bases or this airbase again and destroy more aircraft, then I wouldn't be too shocked if we don't see a dispersal to mainland Russia of Crimea's aircraft at some point. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it interesting. I'll do an update if and when we get one. Now before we finish, I'm going to play 2 videos from NAFO about the ongoing fundraiser with them, which is now over 70% complete and features Su-30's channel patches. Big thanks to everybody who donated, the link is in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and take care everyone.
Greetings, we are Special Drone Squad of 66 Brigade of Ukrainian Armed Forces. We need a pickup truck for evacuation our wounded soldiers and aero scouting. We asking NAFO community and charity fund of 69 Sniffing Brigade to help us. Glory to Ukraine!
Glory to heroes!
Good time of the day, dear friends. We are the military of the 110th Separate Battalion of Territorial Defense of Luhansk region. Currently, it is occupied by aggressor. In a few days, we are heading to liberate our lands towards the Kupiansk direction, where fierce battles are taking place. We are soliciting support from the NAFO and 69th Sniffing Brigade Charitable Foundation. Please help us. We need passable pickup trucks for mobile combat groups of the air forces, specifically for drone operators to adjust fire on the enemy. We are grateful for your help. Glory to Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава!